This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself. So we go to spin, pull it out, but no noise. It's probably a problem with the lid switch. There we go. Let's take a look at the switch. So this switch has a couple problems. One is that the upper part here for the screw, where the screw goes in, broke off, and the other is the case is broken, so you're supposed to get a nice click like that when you close it, but the case is kind of separated, so a zip tie going around this will work. One thing you have to do though is you have to do that zip tie thing. You have to get rid of this metal piece, which isn't really needed, so you can just kind of bend it back and forth and it'll come loose, and then you can bend this metal to get this thing out of the way. It should just slip out. Yeah. So then you put the zip tie around here. So one's probably not long enough. I'll string two together. These are just a bit small to activate. And then we're just going to wrap it around the case. What it does, it just holds the case together tight because the glue's failed. And usually that's a result of just old age, or maybe the lid falls so fast that it cracks the glue. I'm going to tighten up that one, and then I have a second one here I'm tightening too. And we're just going to make that tight around the case so that the case is nice and strong again, and it should click normal, and that'll activate the lid switch, and that'll get rid of all the water. Yeah, so now we can hear a click. We reinstall this, it should work. I think I'll cut away this extra zip tie also. Cut away the extra zip tie. There we go. And then we're going to push this back up into position. We'll add those screws. One of them, I don't know if it's going to engage because it looks like it's probably broken. Test it out. Push that back in, line up the hole, screw back in. Okay, so we got one screw in there. You hear it click. So we'll plug it back in. Okay. Pull it out. There we go. So that zip tie did the trick. Set for spin. Yeah, doing good. There we go. So we've got a lid switch for Whirlpool direct drive. Model number, Kenmore model number is 110.22912.100. We're going to put in a new lid switch. This one's okay, but part of the plastic broke, so it's a little precarious. So we're going to unplug it and then put in this new lid switch. This is part number 3949247. So I'm going to pull the switch a little bit out, and I want to utilize about this much So I'm going to be installing it by splicing in these wires without having to take the cabinet apart. It's a little bit faster way. I'm going to splice this wire back. Okay, and I'll make sure I have this unplugged. I'm going to take out that screw. Usually there's 2 screws holding this in, but this one was missing one. Screw out of there. Okay, that should give me access to that lid switch. Remember, I got it unplugged. Grab it. Pull these wires toward me. There we go. And I'm going to cut it about right here and then splice in this new one. So there's the problem, is probably got slammed too hard and it broke some of this plastic. Remember, you have it unplugged. There we go. I'm going to splice back this wire. It's about a quarter of an inch. The other one. Okay. Twist that wire to get it ready, and then we'll splice in a new switch. It should be nice and strong. I'm going to crimp this onto the new switch. My crimping tool right there, about 1/8 of an inch in. Make sure the wire's twisted so it can fit in there nice. Push that in. Crimp it down. It's nice and solid. Got it. We'll do it on the other side too. Make sure the wire's spun on there tight. Put that on. Feed that in. Crimp it. Alright, those are tight, and we're going to do the other ones now. So, be careful if you have water in here that you don't accidentally drop the switch into the water. You don't want to get the switch wet. So I'm going to get my crimping tool ready. Right there. Feed the wire in there, crimp it. Got it crimped. That one's done. Okay, do the other side. Get my crimping tool in there. And then get this wire in there and then crimp it. There we go. Crimp that one. Okay, got it. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and get this switch in position. Feed these wires back in. And get these wires, the excess wire, way back into the cabinet as far as it will go, because you don't want it to interfere with the drum as the drum moves back and forth. Make sure that these are pointing up. If you don't have enough room, you can push down as this moves. Get this thing back in there. Line up the holes. Put these little screws in. tighten these up. Be careful not to over tighten these because it can break the metal can break the screws. I'm going to get this at about a 10. Get a little tighter. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's make sure we get the click. This thing's going to come down, hit there. Good click, and we'll try it out. Plug it back in, and hear it spin. So this one was just the plastic piece broke, and it had cracked the case, but the zip tie fixed it, but it just wasn't held in very good. Spinning good. Pieces out of here. All done. Fill it up, test the agitation. That volume of water coming in on warm is really good. It means that the inlet hoses aren't clogged at all. There's nothing on the screen. That's just cold. It's pretty strong volume. That's just hot. Pretty good. Together gives you the fastest fill. We're just going to do a small load, test the agitation. On most of these Whirlpool direct drives, with the door shut, it'll do spin, and usually with the door open, it'll do agitation. Some of them are wired where you have to have the door closed, the lid closed for agitation and spin. Normally though, it's only true that you have to have it closed for spin. If you ever go to spin and you pull it out and you don't hear anything, then that's due to a faulty lid switch. If you hear a humming sound when you're going for spin, but it won't spin, that's pretty easy. That means something's stuck in the water pump, which is right here. You just have to lean the machine back and you can get right to the water pump. Pretty good machines, pretty strong. These things tend to go often 20 years. The thing that hurts them is when this falls too fast, like it falls that way, this pin breaks that, and then it won't spin. The other thing that happens is people put too much stuff in, and there's a piece called the motor coupler that goes between the motor and the transmission, and it breaks those little plastic forks, and then it won't agitate and it won't spin. You'll hear the motor, but nothing happens. So we open this. We have good agitation. So the motor's working good, the coupler's working, transmission's working, the little plastic dogs down in here are working. So it's a good, healthy machine. We're going to set it for spin. And then we see nice volume of water. If you go to spin and nothing happens, but there's no water and you hear a humming sound, that means again something's stuck in the water pump right here. Easy to fix.
Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance.